Hi. Welcome back to the program on studying chess with me. And I'd first like to apologize for those who have been wondering whether the series had been completely stopped for good, and with good reason. It's been many months. And basically, what happened is, well, I'll be honest with you, I had a really difficult time. In the period of 1 year, basically, I lost family, my best friend, another friend who took his life, and it really started to get down on me. So, I apologize. Now, I've done a little thinking about this particular series, and while I'm still encouraged by the idea of the videos and the idea of studying, I realized that the videos had been really long, and there's really no way of getting around it. I mean, let's face it, you're studying tactics, middle game, end game, it takes time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break these up into individual videos. So we're going to have a video only of tactics, then another of positional play, and then another one only on endgames. And hopefully that will make it a little bit more palatable. Now, the one on tactics is going to start now, and I'll remind you basically of the concept. I will be studying these positions from Chess-Based Tactics, their web app, which I'm a really big fan of personally. And I will be trying to solve these on my own live with you. Now, obviously, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes of you watching me stare at the screen while I sit there trying to figure things out, because that would be painful. But these will be genuine recordings. I'll just simply edit through it in an accelerated video. I will tell you how much time I actually spent on it. I will share with you what I found or I didn't find and what I saw or didn't see. And I will give you the opportunity to try to solve these on your own. I'll tell you, well, I'm about to give you what I found. And if you want to watch it and just speed through it, go for it. Or if you would like to try to solve it on your own, just put the video on pause, look at the actual diagram, which I will show with you, and try to solve it on your own. And that's basically my modus operandi. So let's get to it. Okay, so we have the first position, and it's already pretty high rated. They're saying 2391. Now, this represents the difficulty of the first move, not every move. If you're not familiar with the Chess-Based Tactics website, basically it will give you points for every move you find, and it will give you an ELO rating evaluation difficulty of each move. So, for example, if this move is 2391, okay, and the next move was just an obvious recapture or something, then that next move might be rated 1700 or whatever. But basically, it's a general idea as to what they expect the difficulty is. I wouldn't worry too much about it. My rating on this particular tactics website is 2400, whatever that means. But again, take that with a grain of salt. That's not my rating in real life at all. I was rated, when I was active, I was about 2100 something. I've already been over 2200 in the 90s. And yeah, it's been a while. The idea here is basically to get back into the game. Okay, so we basically have $23.91, black to move and win, very difficult. Okay. Okay, I've spent a good amount of time on this position, and I have to admit it's not easy. The most obvious moves that come to mind didn't seem to work, and yeah. So if you want to look at this position and analyze it on your own before I start to give you what I found, and then I'll check my solution with the site and see if I was right, then put the video on pause right now. Otherwise, I will tell you first what my move was, and then the lines that I saw that really bugged me and that gave me a hard time. The problem is that whatever solution I give, it never is going to give all the lines. So I'll share with you what I saw first. Okay, so the solution that I have here is rook d2, knight f4, attacking the queen, rook f2. This was a really hard move to find. I'm pretty sure that's the solution. If it's not, well, okay. Rook f2, and yeah, I don't see a defense anymore. The first move that I actually considered wasn't this line at all, to be honest with you. I was looking at lines with, and we'll go back to the position, queen g3, but there's just no way to make it work. I mean, it looks really nice. You're preparing h2 mate, queen h2 mate, and if rook takes f3, we have rook d1 followed by mate. It's nice, just doesn't work. If I play queen g3, he will play, or well, she, whatever. White will play queen f5 check. It doesn't even matter if I have a perpetual check with white, which I probably do. Let's just imagine that I decide not to. I don't have a perpetual. I play, I don't know, king g8. It's really not essential. White can simply play queen g3, queen f4, for example. And yeah, there's no mate on h2, or even simply rook takes f3. And if rook d1, rook f1, and then what? So yeah, that was the first move that I looked at, and cost me a little time while I tried to find ways to make it work, but I quickly had to give up on that. I almost looked for a hint. I was ready to throw in the towel when the idea for rook f2 came to my mind. Okay, so anyway, let's see what this, if I'm right. Okay, continue. Good sign. Knight f4, predictable. Huh. I didn't consider this at all. Obviously, it's part of the solution, but I should have seen it before. And yeah, I'm going to need a couple of minutes to figure out the rest of the solution here. So, okay. So I have spent a considerable amount of time trying to solve this position. As you know, I had not predicted rook g1, and I thought I'd be able to find a simple conclusion, maybe an elegant one, forcing the mate, maybe winning the exchange. I can't seem to make any of them work. So I'm going to go for a kind of a technical win. It should work, but obviously the game will be played out much longer, and maybe this is not the solution at all. In my defense, the difficulty of this particular move, and I hadn't seen this at first, is supposed to be 25-55. And that's the difficulty of the move, not the entire combination. So yeah, if there's a really fancy move here, and I'm sure the website is going to tell me I'm completely wrong, and that's okay. I will still tell you what I saw. So yeah, moves like queen g3 obviously don't work because we still have those complications with queen f5 from before. That hasn't changed. I can't take on g1 because my queen is hanging. So yeah, I looked at moves like, I don't know, queen e4, and I can't seem to make anything out of it. So eventually I gave up on these ideas, and I went for something like knight e5, attacking the queen and attacking the knight on f4. Now, white is not defenseless here. At least I didn't see it that way. Maybe I'll suddenly have an epiphany. That'd be nice. So, yeah. Queen d5. attacking the knight on e5, and I really don't see anything special going on here. My queen is still being attacked by the knight f4, so I really can't sit there, playing a bunch of positional moves. So rook takes f4, queen takes e5, and yeah, I'll just play the game out, with queen f5 and protecting h5. We have our passed pawn on the passed d pawn. We've covered the checks. White is very passive here, and I'm threatening b2. It looked pretty good. Anyway, that was the best I could find. So it will probably tell me you're wrong, is what it is. Solved. That was anticlimactic. I was expecting more. I'm going to have to ask the engine about the line, though, because, it makes it sound like, you just lost everything. But I'm pretty sure that knight is on e5 is a goner, too. Okay. Well, tell you what. Let's ask the engine here and see what it says. One of the nice things about this website is that you have the engine, you can ask it, and we're going to do exactly that. So let me see if the engine will show up under my video, because I have my face overlay, and yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a problem. No? It doesn't say queen d5. It says queen e7, but the line is identical. It's saying black is completely winning, so I wasn't wrong there. That's nice. Queen e7, queen f5. Okay, well, now it's giving a wholly different line. But yeah, the main line at first was pretty much the same that I had given, which was queen e7, rook takes f4, queen takes e5, queen f5. And it says -3 practically for black, which means up 3, really, because it's from black's perspective. So, yeah. Okay. I was sure that I had missed something, but okay. Nice to know I didn't. I wasn't expecting it. And, okay, turn off the engine. And let's go on to the next one. Okay, so after a very challenging first exercise, I'm usually greeted with easier exercises to start my sessions with and then move on to harder ones as it goes. The app decided to throw a curveball at me. But okay, this next one, apparently the first move is 1854, so I guess we'll have an easier time about this one. And let's see what we have here. White to play and win. And yeah, the solution is pretty easy. If you want to take a few minutes or seconds to find the solution on your own, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to give it right now. And the winning move is rook f8. It's pretty obvious. After bishop f8, queen g8 mate, and after rook takes f8, rook takes f8 again, bishop takes f8, queen g8 mate. No surprise. Next one. And now we're back to the hard ones. First move is worth, well, it's evaluated at a difficulty of 2328. And black to move and win. Okay. So if you want to take a bit of time to analyze it, put the video on pause. Otherwise, the move here is knight takes d4. And after knight takes d4, c takes d4, bishop b5. And you're going to have a problem protecting both e4 and f1, and you're going to lose material here pretty badly. Okay. And let's go to the next one. All right, so the next exercise is evaluated at 1948. Okay. Black to move and win. And, well, black is already up a piece, so not really sure it takes a lot of winning here. But it's mate in one. I don't think you need to be 2000 elo to see it. Okay, whatever, man. $19.29, black to move and win. Well, at least this one on the surface is not a mate in one, so that was weird. All right. I mean, there's no immediate win of material. There's a threat of mate if white decides to help black. But so the move I see is bishop d4, check. Now, obviously, if a move like, I don't know, king h2, then queen h6 is mate. But if white doesn't actually self-mate with that kind of assistance, then bishop e3. You know, king f1, bishop e3, and yeah, it's pretty crushing. Okay, next one. $19.46 strength difficulty. Black to move and win. And this will be our last exercise of this particular tactic session. Okay. So okay, it's pretty straightforward. And if you want to take a few seconds or a little bit of time to think about this position, then please put the video on pause. Otherwise, I will go straight to the solution. It's rook c2, threatening mate on b2, queen b2, and queen a2, and you can't stop both. Okay. Okay. So that wraps up our tactics session for this time. Thank you for joining me. And please join me in the next tactics session or the next study with me, which will be on strategic play. And we will be reading more in the book of Ludek Pachman on pawn play. So, happy chess and good mates.